Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Let's just be honest, I've been in a reading slump, okay? It's not that I haven't been reading, it's more so like when I sit down to read. Also, I have a hair in my face and it's bothering me. Don't ask what's going on with my bangs. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. It's not that I haven't been reading. I read a lot for my graduate school program, mostly like textbooks and research studies and all those things. So I'm so like fatigued, like I have like reader's fatigue from all of the academic material that I'm reading, that I sit down to read like fiction or books that I want to read for fun, and I can't even last like a chapter, and then I have to put it away. I'm like, I need to go watch TV like mindlessly, which is fine, but I've been doing that for like a few weeks now since I've been in my semester, and I miss reading. Like, I look at the books on my shelves and I'm like, I want to sit and read this, and I think I just have to make myself kind of stick with it, you know, even when I don't necessarily feel it. So I'm categorizing this as a reading slump. I'm not sure if it would be a reading slump. I mean, the definition of reading slump, like, who really knows, you know? For some people, it's like they haven't picked up a book in 3 months. But for me, I just cannot stick with a book for more than like 10 minutes, and then I'm like, I want to go do something else. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm blaming academia. I'm blaming all those research papers I have to read, okay? That's what I'm blaming. I'm also in that part of my cycle where I'm just feeling really unmotivated. And that also has a lot to do with like motivation to read and like finish chapters as I'm reading. So anyway, I've decided, I know I look a little freaky, it's because I just woke up and I've been doing homework all morning, but while I was doing homework this morning, I decided I am going to pull myself out of the trenches of this reading slump, and you're coming with me. So I'm currently reading 2 books. So I want to tell you what I'm reading because that's what we're going to try and finish first. I am going to do this in like 5 days. So I'm going to spend the next 5 days trying to pull myself out of reading slump. And the 5-day timeline is because I have to edit this video to post it on the 6th day. So we have 5 days. I'm going to show you what I've been reading or trying to get through these last couple weeks. Mind you, I have like gotten through books. It's just, maybe it's the books I'm reading that I'm stuck on, but I'm on a book buying ban this year. I'm not including Kindle Unlimited in that because I got Kindle Unlimited for free for 30 days. So I only got it for a specific 4-book series that I wanted to read that was on Kindle Unlimited, that I'm on a book buying ban, so I couldn't go buy the book. So I got a free 30-day Kindle Unlimited. Now, with that being said, I think my 30 days are coming up, like, probably now. So I'm probably going to end up having to pay for at least a month of Kindle Unlimited to finish the book series, but whatever. The series I'm talking about is the Reynolds Protective Group series by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. I'm reading the first one, which is Archer. This is my Kindle. I don't know if you guys have seen her before. She doesn't have a lot going on. I'm gonna add more stickers, but I started reading Archer. Okay. The reason I got into this book and like this series in general is because the books are based off characters from Criminal Minds, which is one of my favorite shows, and I'm actually rewatching it right now. And her TikTok came up on my For You page saying like each book is based off a different like main male character in Criminal Minds, and I love that show and I love the men in that show. So the first book, Archer, the one I started, is based off of Aaron Hotchner, which is like the lead of the BAU in Criminal Minds. If you've seen that show, it doesn't really matter, but it's basically based off him. So I was like, oh, okay, because I love him. So that's what got me to get Kindle Unlimited for a month, just so I could read the books. The other ones are based off of Spencer Reed, Will, and Morgan. So the only ones I really care about are Hotch and Spencer, but I wanted to read all of them just to see. And I'll tell you right now where I'm at because I have the little percentage thing, but I don't even know where I'm at. I haven't picked this up in several days. So I am 59% of the way through. So I'm over halfway, but I'm like not far enough to be like I'm close to finishing. Like I'm not even 75% of the way through. Okay, this is like first up on the roster for getting out of a reading slump. We're gonna finish this book because I have to, because I have my 30-day unlimited subscription, okay, for free. So the other book that I've been picking up when this one is sucking is this Buffy the Vampire Slayer collection. Now let me explain this to you. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a fangirl, like a huge fangirl for a bunch of different fandoms, and sometimes I fall down this rabbit hole of like reading books based off of my fandom stuff, like Criminal Minds books, or this is literally, okay, I researched what this was. It's essentially like fan fiction. It's like published fan fiction, kind of. This thick book is actually 3 separate books just in a collection. So I'm trying to read the first one in this collection, which is Coyote Moon. I have this book and the second version of the collection that has another 3 books in it. This one has Coyote Moon, Night of the Living Rerun, and Portal Through Time. So there's 3 books in here. I'm trying to just get through the first one, Coyote Moon, but basically it's like all of those gaps in time in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, like between, I think it's season 1 and season 2, like they skip over summer, like when they come back in season 2. I could be wrong about the seasons. I've only seen this show through like once, so I'm rewatching it right now, but between season 1 and season 2 they kind of like come back at the end of summer, so you don't get to see summer. So like Coyote Moon is a carnival that happens during summer, and there's like something going on. So all the characters are from Buffy. It's the Buffyverse, but it's like the gaps in time throughout the show filled in with these stories. So essentially it's kind of like a fan fiction, but there aren't like characters that don't exist. It's just like filling in the gaps. That's the best way I can explain it. There's probably a better way to explain it, but everything I found on this when I was researching it was just kind of like that. Like, it's just filling in the gaps. I got this from Thrift Books at the end of last year with some gift cards I got for Christmas. So this is like part of the last few books I bought before my book buying ban. So it was right up on number 1. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, so I'm trying to finish Coyote Moon, which is 1 book in this collection, and Archer. So those are like the first 2. I do like to have usually 1 to 2 books going on at the same time, just because when I get bored of one, I can flip to the other one, and usually they're kind of like different vibes. Like this one is like a not really an enemies to lovers, kind of like an enemies to lovers in a way, kind of like steamy, smutty romance, and then this one is more like YA, solving a mystery kind of fiction. Usually I have like a non-fic and a fic at the same time, but the non-fiction I was reading with this book I finished already, and that's when I picked up. These are the 2 we're dealing with. I'd like to finish these and also read like another book, but I don't know, that's kind of ambitious for 5 days. But let's see what we can do, because I just want to get out of this damn reading slump. I want to finish this one. This one's like annoying the hell out of me. I'm trying not to DNF books. I have 2 goals this year. Don't DNF, and the second goal is to read everything in my bookshelves before I buy anything. That's why I'm on my book buying ban. I was going through my shelves at the end of last year, and I just realized how many books I have that I haven't read that are just sitting on my shelf that I don't want to get rid of because I haven't given them an opportunity. You know what I mean? So this whole year is going to be getting through my entire bookshelf. Now, I say I have a lot, but it's not that many. I feel like I maybe have like 15 books, maybe 20 max, that I haven't read that are sitting on my shelves. But again, that's a lot. I don't need to be buying any more books, plus I'm broke. That's also a factor in my book buying ban, and I have tuition coming up. So I think I'm gonna start with Archer, trying to finish that one. I just finished doing a bunch of homework, and I'm like finally sitting to read on day 1 because I haven't read at all. I just filmed the intro and like that's all I've done. I need to talk about this book because it's so infuriating. So this one's supposed to be based off of Hotchner, or like Aaron Hotchner, Hotch, whatever, from Criminal Minds, which is fine. But I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this character's not really like what I would imagine Hotch being like, but I know it's like based off of him. It can't really be him exactly, but I find myself just like inserting what I know Hotch to be from the show and ignoring everything that the author has made this character out to be just to make the story like more readable. I don't know, whatever. So basically the Reynolds Protective Group is like a private security company where Archer is the oldest brother. They're all brothers, okay? He's the oldest, he's like in charge, whatever. And then there's Kiara, which is the girl, the love interest. So it starts out with him being like her bodyguard when she was like, I think 17 or 18, and her dad worked for like a really big mafia or something, and he was testifying against them, so they were being protected by Reynolds whatever, and they were like kind of flirty, whatever. and then she fakes her death because they're on the run. It's not really, I don't really care honestly about that plot, the subplot, but she fakes her death, whatever. But Archer believes that she's been dead this whole time. So years go by and she moves to Archer's small town in Wyoming where he lives, and she like buys a house and like buys a small business and like opens a tattoo shop, and he's just like, I thought you were dead, question mark. And she's like, oh yeah, no, that was fake, like we were on the run. And he's like grappling with the fact that he thought she was dead this whole time. He also had a crush on her when she was like basically barely 18 or 17. I honestly don't remember. I started this book so long ago and I just kept putting it down, so I don't even know where I'm at. Like I don't even know what, I don't remember the beginning, to be honest, but whatever. Anyway, this book is so annoying. It keeps like repeating things that we already know. Like we already know what happened to her dad. We already know why they're they were hiding. We already know why they kept running. Like it just keeps repeating, and it's like killing me. And also Kiera is such a hateable character. I think I'm just a hater, but I think I hate both of them, honestly. I think I like Archer a little more because I'm also self-inserting like Hotch from Criminal Minds. Not really going off her character. Really just reading it like a fan fiction. But Kiera like starts this like tattoo shop. It's like the Twilight tattoo shop or something. I know, hella cringe. And her tattoos are just like, she like redoes famous artworks on people's bodies. So like A Starry Night, like just like I'm pretty sure, oh, and then like a huge like Harry Potter tattoo on someone's back or something. Like when she's describing these tattoos, you're just like, ew, like what? Like ew? Like as someone who knows what good tattoos look like, my dad's covered head to toe in tattoos, but like I know what a good tattoo looks like. So when she's talking about being a tattoo artist and this like famous work she's done, I'm like, ew. Like all of these are ew. And you'll know if you've read this book or you're planning on reading it. Like someone's back being an entire like all 4 of the Harry Potter houses, like so ugly. Like ew. It's so ugly. Her only wardrobe is crop tops and leggings. Like, I can't make this up. This just feels like a poorly written Wattpad story done by some 32-year-old millennial. Sorry. I don't know, it's just bad. And I wanted to DNF it so bad, but I'm trying not to DNF books, so I'm gonna keep reading. But I needed to update you. I'm only like 62%. I only read like another chapter since we last spoke, but I needed to tell you, I kind of forgot that I hadn't really filled you in on what the book's about, and there was a scene that I just read that pissed me off so much. I needed to tell you why I want to DNF this book. They're making breakfast and she's like, I want to make the breakfast, and he's like,
I make breakfast for like me and my 4 siblings our entire lives. Like I'll make the breakfast.
And she's like, oh, I want to make it. So he's like, okay,
you can make the egg and I'll make everything else.
And she's like, okay. And she's like, I'm looking for it. He's like, what are you looking for? And she's like, I'm looking for a plastic bag. And he's like,
why?
She's like, just trust me. Okay, explain to me how this is easier. Maybe this is how you guys do it, okay? I don't do it this way. She cracked the eggs into a Ziploc bag, shakes the Ziploc bag, then pours the Ziploc bag onto the pan. And he's like, he doesn't say it's a good idea. He just goes,
I've never seen anybody make eggs like that.
Like, how I read that line was,
I never see anybody make eggs like that.
Because it's a stupid idea. Because you're just, like, you're making more of a mess. Like, I don't know, picturing that, I'm like, so you're just putting the eggs in a plastic bag, and then you're wasting egg. There's egg in that bag, and you're throwing away a plastic bag when you could have just cracked the eggs onto the pan. It's just like making things harder. It doesn't, or like messier. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that is just like this much of what makes me upset about the characters in this book. Like, just as much. Anyway, someone's like tormenting the small town that they're in, breaking into the post office, beating up the town drunk. Like, they're doing things. And the whole time, Archer's like,
could it be the people that were after your father?
And she's like,
no, there's no way they know I'm alive.
Even though I'm now legally going by my government name and I'm no longer hiding under a false identity, there's no way they know I'm alive. And I'm like, that's it, what? Like, you're going, you're going by your name now. Like, just because you're in some small town in Wyoming doesn't mean you're invisible. I don't know, it's just making me mad because she's like, there's no way it's the people that were after my father. Like, there's no way. And he's like, okay, but you and your father were on the run for like 11 years of your life. So, and her dad died, and that's why she moved to Wyoming. She stopped running. So he's like, you're still a target. Just because your dad died doesn't mean like they're not gonna look for you. And she's like,
They don't know I'm alive.
but she's going by her government name. She just has this weird mindset that the place she lives doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a small town in Wyoming. Like, they're not gonna know I'm here. They think I'm dead. Girl, what? Like, I don't know, it's making me mad. I don't even want to finish it. I don't care. Also, I skipped one of the smut scenes because it was pissing me off, and then I was reading like the second or the third smut scene, and I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? When you're like reading a smut scene, you're like, what are we doing? There's something she said, like, position wise, I was like, this doesn't even make sense, like, in my mind picturing this. Anyway, I'm like, I'm not motivated to read the other ones. The only one I might still read is the Spencer Reed one, because I think that one's named Ranger or something, because he's my favorite character in Criminal Minds. The only reason I started with this one is because it's the first book, and I thought they were part of like a continuing series. But if they're standalones, I might just read the Spencer one, if I even read that one, because this one is just, no. Sorry, Dr. Rebecca Sharp, I'm sorry, but do better. I'm gonna keep reading though for this little break. I have class at 5 o'clock and it's 3:30, so I'm gonna read from now till 5. Hopefully we can just finish it. Oh, I just dropped my Kindle. Good thing this thing is like made of concrete. I'm gonna read till 5 o'clock. Oh my, I can't even, like, what is going on? Since we last talked, I think I figured out why I'm hating it so much. I really pictured Hotch, and like, okay, if you haven't seen Criminal Minds, Hotch is very classy, like, classy man. And what's like hot about him is he's very like, he's the leader of the group, so he's very like, this is what you're gonna do, XYZ, do it, like, no questions asked kind of thing. Very like commanding and respected. Okay, the problem with this, and I think the problem with a lot of the romance books that I don't end up liking, is they make the male characters so horny. Like, so, like, I refuse to believe that the man of my dreams thinks like this. Do you know what I mean? I could be wrong. I don't have the brain of a man, but I refuse to believe that every man on this planet walks around only thinking of sex 24/7 hours of their life. And that's where a lot of these books throw me and make me hate them, is when you have a dual POV, like this book is. Every other chapter is his POV and then her POV, whatever. I love that when it's done right. Now, when every time you're in his POV, it's always just like, oh, I can see her nipples through her shirt. Oh my god, it's so hard. Like, okay, what about everything else about her? Like, it's just so annoying. Like, and I get it, like, whatever, if you want to make like a horny character, fine, but like, it's supposed to be kind of loosely based off of Hotch, and he would never. I'm reading this and I'm like, Hotch would never. Hotch would never. But she markets, the author of this book markets it as like fan fiction for Criminal Minds lovers. Markets it as based off Hotch. So it's like, maybe that's why I'm so upset about it, is because I set certain standards for it, and it's just like every other man in a romance book I don't like. Like, do you have any other thoughts in your head, or like qualities, or like hobbies, or like interests, or like any other interest in her other than the fact that you want to bang and you feel like you need to protect her? Like, what do you like about her? Do you know what I mean? Like, we literally went like they're literally banging, and then he's like, I need her to move in with me, like, she's like the love of my life. I'm like, but why? Like, what do you like about her? I don't know. I think I'm losing it. Like, I'm crashing out, or I'm losing it. The more I read of this book, I can't. Like, I literally can't. We're almost done. Did I even, like, I didn't even tell you why I was screaming. So, you know how I said she's a tattoo artist earlier? He's tattooing her. 0 training. 0. He is tattooing bite marks, his bite marks, on her shoulder while he's pleasuring her at the same time. I call BS. 1, I call BS. 2, she's gonna get an infection. Okay? Like, I hate this book. Okay, so I finished it. I finished the, what is it called? Archer? The Reynolds, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The one I was talking about. I just finished it. And You know what? This is always what happens. We start off being like, I hate this book. This book sucks. And then I finish it and I'm like, was it really that bad though? Like, I can't stick to it. So I hated it around like up until like 60% of the way in. I will say the last like 40% of the book I did like. Like, there was action, she gets shot, like good things happening. You know, I feel like he gets a little humility because she ends up getting shot and he wasn't able to protect her. So we get his ego knocked down a couple notches, which is nice. Plus, like, I love a good, like, she's injured and he has to be like, you know, take her to the hospital, like, stay with me, like, I love that. This book won me over towards the end. Was it great? No. Was it entertaining? Yeah, it was. I did have to suffer through the first half, but like once I sat to finish it, I really finished it. You know what I mean? Like, I finished the second half of the book in what, a couple hours, like hour or two. I liked it. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I think that's what I'm gonna rate it on Goodreads. 3 out of 5. Just entertaining enough to read. Not that good. Stuff didn't really make sense. I have decided I am gonna read the other ones because I have to know what they're about. I think they're standalones, like they're connected but standalones. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna jump and just read Rangers, which is supposed to be like the Spencer one, or if I'm gonna read all of them. I don't know. I'll probably end up reading all of them. But for now, we're gonna switch gears because I need to switch my mind off from a really smutty, like, romance, mafia, people getting shot book to like something different. So I am gonna finish Coyote Moon, which is the first book in this collection. So I'm on page 44. I'm like right here. But let me see where Coyote Moon ends in this book so you guys have like an idea. The next book starts like right here. So it's just, how many pages is this? 165 pages and I'm already on page 44. So it'll be a quick read. But I started it, I want to finish it. One thing about like my like reading slump is like usually when I'm trying to get out of a reading slump, some people will just like abandon the things that they've read halfway or started and start something completely new. But the way that my brain works is I can't fully jump into the next book if I know I have like half finished books that I left behind. So we are gonna finish Coyote Moon. I think depending on how I like Coyote Moon, maybe we'll read the other ones, maybe we'll save them for a different time. These books are kind of like, they're short, they're quick reads, they're kind of fun like palate cleansers between longer books. So maybe we'll just read Coyote Moon, and then I have another book in mind that's been on my shelf since December of last year, so like a month and a half now. I bought some books off of Book Outlet and Thrift Books with a gift card for Christmas, so I have like a fresh stack that hasn't been sitting on my shelf for long, and that's kind of like what I've been interested in getting through. So I'm gonna read Coyote Moon, and then I'll show you the next book that I've been thinking of. We're still on day 1 and we're doing good so far. You guys are probably gonna watch this and be like, wow, she has so much free time on her hands, like she's reading so much. No, I don't. I'm just, instead of scrolling on TikTok, I'm reading. That's the only way I can do this. Like, you know, between classes, I got all my homework done this morning, like my readings done this morning for school, so that I could read. So anytime I want to watch TV or scroll, I'm just gonna read, and that is how we're gonna pull myself out of this reading slump. I will say that book I just finished has contributed to pulling me out of the reading slump. I do feel a little less like in the trenches and a little more excited to read. Hopefully this one will help me a little more. So from what I remember, since I'm gonna read it, I do have I have school stuff to do, so I'll either read this tonight or tomorrow morning. But from what I remember, the Coyote Moon is about, it's like the summer between season 1 and season 2, and there's a carnival in town. And similar to, if you remember that episode, if you haven't seen Buffy, this isn't gonna make sense to you. I'll leave timestamps down here. If you want to skip the Buffy one or whatever, you can skip around based off the book. But there was an episode where like Xander gets possessed by like hyenas, and I think this is kind of like a play off of that, but with coyotes, and it's set during summer, which I love because we get like rare summerness in like the beginning seasons of Buffy. They usually just come back after summer since they're in high school. But it's set in summer and a carnival comes to town, and I think like the idea is that they're all like coyote werewolves, like were-coyotes, if that makes sense. I do remember from the first 40 pages I've read that it does read very like juvenile and very YA, which for me, I'm not a YA fan. I think just because I didn't like being a teenager, and I also read a lot of YA when I was a teenager, so when I became an adult and I started reading adult stuff, like reading YA, I just feel like I'm in middle school again, and I don't want to be there. So the only reason I am reading this, even though it's like YA and very juvenile, is because I love Buffy. I love Buffy, I love the Buffyverse, I love the series. So when I found out that there was a way I could like extend the Buffy universe and the Buffy experience by reading these books, of course I found them. I did pay like $4 for this book, and $4 I think for the connected second collection, which I have on my shelf, which I haven't even opened yet. But anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm going to do some stuff, and then I'm gonna crack into this story that I already started. Okay, so I was right about the were-coyotes. That's what it was about, the were-coyotes. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the other book that I just got done reading kind of like pulled me out of my slump a little, but reading this just showed me I am still very much in a reading slump, because that was so hard to stay focused on. I don't know, I'm also kind of tired, like if you can't tell. I don't know if there's that big of a difference from my energy earlier to now, but it's like 9 o'clock and I've had a long day, long day of schoolwork, and I finished that book earlier today. I wasn't even gonna start this book tonight, I was just gonna do it tomorrow, but I was watching Lost, which is like a show I just started watching. It's not new, it's from like 2004, but I'm obsessed with it. And I was watching Lost, and there's a hair in my mouth. I was watching Lost, and then I was like, you know what I should be doing if I'm watching this show? I probably have time to read. So I paused Lost and I picked this up, and I told myself I wasn't gonna watch Lost until I finished reading Coyote Moon, and I did. So now I can watch Lost the rest of the night. And yeah, so I would give this book 3 out of 5 stars. I can't tell if I'm just like really in the trenches of a reading slump, but it was really hard to get through. Partly because it's juvenile, but also partly I just feel like, I don't know, there's like a difference in when you're reading fan fiction, it reads like fan fiction, whereas this kind of just reads like I'm reading a script, like I'm reading the script to a Buffy episode, which is fine. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. I was a little bored, just a little bit. It made me tired. You can't tell, like I'm ready to go to bed now. It was kind of boring. There's also a big difference seeing like the jokes that Buffy makes and the jokes that Xander makes like played out on TV, and you kind of giggle, but when you read them it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like there's no like comedic timing because you're reading them. I hope I'm explaining that right, but I'm giving it 3 stars. Unfortunately, I'm not in the mood to continue reading the other 2 books. Yeah, 2 books in this collection, in this book, so we're gonna save those for another time, either later this week or some other time, but I'm gonna read something else next. I have an idea of what I want to read, but I'm gonna sleep on it and see if I still want to read it in the morning, and if I do, then I'll tell you about it, and if not, we'll be picking something else. But for now, that is day 1 of me trying to get out of my reading slump. I'm still in it. I've come to a consensus. I am still very much in it. This proved that to me. That was like pulling teeth. It took forever to get through. So I will see you in the morning.
You're in my bookshelf. My bookshelf of books that I need to get through. It's day 2 of this 5-day getting out of a reading slump challenge that I've created for myself. It somehow turned from like a vlog to like a challenge thing. I don't know. I decided on the book I'm gonna read last night, and I still want to read it today. So like, we're gonna read it. So the book I decided on is Tender is the Flesh. I got this book, I want to say it was November, so what's that, like 4 months ago? 3 or 4, give or take 3 or 4 months ago. I got this, I want to say I got it off of a recommendation from someone on TikTok. As the year was ending, they were like, these are the books I recommend or whatever, and they were talking about this book, and immediately I was like, oh, I want to read that. It is a little outside of my like normal go-to, but I don't know, I feel like I always say like my genre is romance, but I really read anything. I'll read anything, nonfic, literally anything. I'm more of a mood reader, just depends. So I wanted something a little freaky, so I'm gonna pick up and read Tender is the Flesh. I also think it's gonna help that it's only like a 200-page read, so because I'm still in like a reading slump, I think I need a small win. Like I need to get through this and feel the joy from finishing a book to hopefully dive into something with some more pages. But for now, we're gonna stick with the short read, and I'm gonna give you a little bit about this book. So the blurb says, working at the local processing plant, Marcos is in the business of slaughtering humans, though no one calls them that anymore. Ooh. It's about the international sensation about a dystopian world in which humans are being processed for food and society is divided into predators and prey. His wife has left him, his father is sinking into dementia, and Marcos tries not to think too hard about how he makes a living. After all, it happened so quickly. First, it was reported that an infectious virus had made all animal meat poisonous to humans. Then governments initiated the transition. Now eating human meat, special meat, is legal. Marcos tries to stick to numbers, consignments, and processing. Then one day he's given a gift, a live specimen of the finest quality. Though he's aware that any form of personal contact is forbidden on pain of death, little by little he starts to treat her like a human being, and soon he becomes tortured by what has been lost and what might still be saved. So interesting. It's supposed to kind of be like poor dystopian cannibalism, you know? And I like cannibalism. I mean, I'm not for eating people. I'm not like for cannibalism in real life, but TV shows, books, movies on cannibalism, I'll take it. It's interesting. I vibe. So that's where we're at. That's also kind of where my head's at right now. I'm not really in a romance mood. I'm not really in like a YA mood. The Buffy book I just read kind of threw me out of YA for a while. And we need a palate cleanser from the romance I started this video with. So let's dive into this one. It's 200 pages. It is day 2 and it's 7 p.m. So I feel like I could finish this before I go to bed. I'm probably going to be in bed by like midnight. So that gives me plenty of time to get through 200 pages. So let's get into it. I lied to you. I did not read this book like early in the night. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. I didn't get into this book until midnight. And it's currently about to be 1 a.m. So I've only been reading it for like 45 minutes maybe. But I did get about 80 pages in, almost halfway. I was trying to get halfway before I went to bed, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I have school in the morning and I have to get up early, so I kind of just want to go to bed. With that being said, it is a page turner. When I started reading it, I literally have not put it down. I'm glued to it. Something about the writing is really good. Also, the concept of this book is insane. I know I already told you that it's like a dystopian world where there's no like animal meat and people are eating people, but it's so much more than that. It's literally like if you could imagine what a cow goes through from the moment it's born to becoming meat to eat. It's like that, but for humans. This guy works at a meat processing plant where they literally just like funnel humans in and butcher them. Like, it's very detailed, very gore, which like I haven't really read a book that's heavy in gore that I can think of. This might be like the first book I've read that's like super full of gore, but not in like it's so weird, it's not in like a horrific way where it's like fight scenes or like horror in the sense of like it's a not normal gore, because in this world it's normal. Like, it's normal to go to your work and slaughter another human being to sell the meat. Like, it's normal, and people aren't allowed to like talk about it. People aren't allowed to call them humans. They're called head. Like, that's insane. Yeah, you're not allowed to call them human. It's like there's a bunch of rules on like what you can and can't say. Like, even the way they name the different body parts that they sell, like if they're selling like a hand, they say like upper extremity, or like a foot is like a lower extremity, instead of saying hand and foot, because they're trying to like detach the fact that these are people so that people will buy the meat, if that makes sense. Like, if it's too human, if it's labeled foot and hand, like people won't buy it, but it's also the only meat source. And there's like growth hormone people, that's like the generic, like everybody gets that meat. And then there's like the meat that's pure, which is just like purebred with no growth hormones, which is insane. There's like breeders and non-breeders and like kids. Oh my god, like it is disgusting. This book, it's really well written so far. It's also making me so sick like reading it, but I can't stop reading it. Like I don't know. It's good like world building. I don't know. I will say it is kind of pulling me out of my slump because I am really into like reading it just because it's so insane. I did tab 2 spots I want to share with you. So I thought this was interesting. Oh, also, I know I mentioned in the beginning how what did it say in the blurb about a woman? It was like, he's given a gift, a live specimen of the finest quality, and though he's aware that any form of personal contact is forbidden, little by little he starts to treat her like a human being. So something about this guy is like, he isn't like the other people that work at the processing center. He's not like excited about it, or like it bugs him. It bugs him, and like he personally couldn't slaughter, if that makes sense. Like it bothers him, okay? In a world where it's really not bothering anybody else, at least in his point of view. So he already kind of has like a conscience. It doesn't matter. The gift he's given is a like I want to say it's a purebred or whatever, like a fine bred woman, and it just like it just gets dropped off at our house. Bruh, see, this is ruining my brain. Also, I'm really scared that I'm gonna have some very scary nightmares tonight. Like very scary nightmares in this book world. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because I have like vivid dreams and vivid nightmares, and they usually come from things I see during my day. So hopefully I do not pull from this tonight. But the gift gets dropped off at his place, and he's like, what do I do with this? And there's this part where he says, as of right now, in this part that I tabbed that I'm gonna read to you, he just kind of put her in like his barn, and she's just like in there like a cow, basically. He doesn't know what to do with her. He's pissed because he's like, what the hell? Like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to slaughter her. I don't want to take care of her. This is a stupid gift. It's like when you gift someone like a hamster or like a guinea pig or like a high maintenance reptile, and they have no idea, or like a fish, and now they have to get a fish tank. You're like, that's like how he's treating it. He's kind of like, why would you gift this to me? It's like gifting someone a pet. So he says he knows he can raise her, that it's permitted. He's aware that there are people who do so and who eat their domestic head alive part by part. They say the meat tastes better, claim it's really fresh. Tutorials are available that explain how, when, and where to make the cuts so the product doesn't die early. Oh, gross. This whole book is gross, but oh my god, you're allowed to like, it's like a cow, like you're allowed to raise and then slaughter it. Also, the piece by piece thing reminds me of that movie about cannibalism, Fresh, where that guy like kidnaps that girl and then starts cutting her up like piece by piece and selling her meat. Anyway, I thought this part was interesting. That's permitted, but owning slaves is prohibited. He remembers the allegations against a family that was later prosecuted for keeping 10 female slaves in a clandestine workshop. They were branded. The family had bought them from a breeding center and trained them. They'd all been taken to the municipal slaughterhouse. The females in the family became special meat. Special meat's what they call the human meat. The press reported on the case for weeks. He remembers that there was a sentence that everybody repeated, horrified. Slavery is barbaric. It's insane that this population can recognize that slavery is barbaric, but then at the same time be like, yeah, I'm just gonna raise a human and slaughter it and eat it, and like it's perfectly legal. That is crazy. And like, okay, it's just crazy. Also, on top of the meat being tainted, yes, but it was like every animal had this virus, and there's also people who don't believe there was ever a virus, and like that it was just made up basically to control the population, like to get the population down because they were overpopulated. So there are a set of people that are like, yeah, no, they made the virus up so that they have a reason to kill us because there weren't enough resources for all of us. So that's also a possibility. And it does say like the chickens and the cows and the meat sources or like had a virus, but it also went to all the pets. So like they rounded up all the dogs, all the cats, all the horses, all the zoo animals. Like every animal was killed, or like people hoarded their pets so that they wouldn't get killed, and then their pets ended up getting sick and then making their owners sick, so they ended up dying. But like the way that he describes
the city and the town. You're like walking through the streets and you have to be like fully aware that a stray dog with the virus could come up to you and scratch you or bite you and like you're dead. So you have like, the idea is that you're always like aware, because these animals that they didn't get to or that people saved to try not their pet, they didn't want their pet to die, later would like release them into the country and they're just like out. Speaking of, this reminded me, I went on a walk the other day in my neighborhood and there was a coyote in the neighborhood. Like, I know I live in California, and I'm nowhere near the hills, so why was there a coyote in my neighborhood? I was walking in the dark, but still, why is there a coyote in my neighborhood? It was just making me think of that. Anyway, so that was interesting. I wanted to share that. But that kind of gives you like a little idea of like where the headspace is of the population. Being like, yeah, slavery is bad, but also let's slaughter and eat humans. Like, that's fine. Anyway, so the other thing is his dad has dementia, which I already mentioned, but he's in a old folks home, like a nursing home. And he's talking about like the way that the nursing home is marketed. So he says, security guards, security guaranteed 24/7 is on the brochure. It's known that in public nursing homes, when the majority of seniors die or are left to die, they're sold on the black market. It's the cheapest meat money can buy because it's dry and diseased, full of pharmaceutical. It's meat with the first and last name. In some cases, seniors' own family members authorize a private or state-owned nursing home to sell their bodies and use the proceeds to pay off any debt. There are no longer funerals. It's very difficult to ensure that a body isn't eaten. That's why many of the cemeteries were sold and others abandoned. Some still remain as relics of a time when the dead could rest in peace. Oh my god. No one's safe, not even the old people. This book's freaking me out, and it's 1 a.m. now. Like, it's time to go to bed. We're gonna let this rest. I will say, now that I've talked about it, I kind of just want to power through it, but I have a long day of classes tomorrow, so like I can't stay up all night reading this book. I have to go to bed. But I think that just tells you how good this book is, and it's pulling me out of my slump, okay? So we'll continue, but I'm gonna try and wake up early tomorrow and get some more of it done. I doubt I'll finish it in the morning, because I don't like waking up early, but if I do have time before class, I'll get some more reading in, and then I'll just try and fit some more time in between my classes tomorrow. And hopefully we can definitely get this done tomorrow though. But end of day 2. I'm gonna be thinking about this book for a while. Like, oh my god. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna go. Good night.
It's day 3 of trying to pull myself out of a reading slump. I had a long day of classes, I'm not gonna lie. I got out of class at like 6:30 p.m. and it's 8:10 p.m. right now. I just finished Tender is the Flesh. Oh my god. I will say this book was so disturbing. I don't want to spoil anymore. I feel like I talked a lot about this book already. I don't want to give any spoilers for the ending or like some major things that happen, so I'm not going to talk about the content. I think this book pulled me out of my reading slump, I'm not going to lie. It's so disturbing, but for some reason, like, you can't put it down. And literally, like, today after a full day of classes, I was so tired, but all I wanted to do was finish this book. Like, that's how you know it's a good book. I was reading it every free chance I got today on all my breaks, and it's also just a fast read if you need like a quick 200-page read. But oh, like, also the ending, like, this book was wild. And the back, I think it says, yeah, they're talking about making a TV show out of it, or like a movie. I don't think I'd be able to watch that. I don't know. I do recommend this though. If you can stomach like gory detail, disturbing content, then it's worth a read. I think the writing's really good. It was a page turner. Like, I wanted to know what was gonna happen next all the way up until the end. And the world building was amazing. Like, the descriptions, I could picture the entire world. Like, anytime he was walking through things, I could just picture it, and that's how you know it was a good book. Because there are some books with like the white room effect where you're just kind of like sitting in a blank room and you can't picture it. I could picture every scene talked about in this book. Everything that was going on, I could picture it. I'm gonna have to sit with this. Like, I don't even... Also, I did not end up having nightmares about it last night, thank God. Hopefully I don't have any tonight. But wow, I just got done finishing it. Like, I can't even... Wow. insane. I haven't read a book this insane in so long. I'm on a roll. Like, I want to keep reading. So we have to pick our next book. I think we need a palate cleanser from cannibalism and dystopian. I don't think I'm ready for like a smutty romance. I don't know. I think I have like a fantasy enemies to lovers that I got with Tender is the Flesh from Book Outlet when I did that order like 3 months ago. So let's pull that one off the shelf. Okay, I think the next one we're gonna read is Divine Rivals. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I was looking at this last night because I was trying to figure out what I was gonna read next. And it was also a very pretty cover. Let's see. I think, yeah, this one I got from Book Outlet too. So here's the little blurb. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion of the Oath Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle. For her brother, fate of mankind, and love. Divine Rivals is an epic, enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. We need a little sparkle in our life after that book. After that treacherous, dystopian, cannibalistic hellscape, we need some fantasy enemies to lovers. I don't know if this is YA. It's giving YA. Like, the blurb is giving YA. She is 18, and usually YA they're like 17 or 16. But I don't know, it's kind of giving YA. But we're gonna give it a shot. Roughly like 350 pages, give or take. Hopefully I like it. If we get a good leadway on it, maybe we can finish it by end of day tomorrow. And we might have room for one more book. I don't know, I'm getting a lot of reading done this week. I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's been a long day. I don't know. Let's start this book, see if it's worth reading, because I haven't even started it. So, Divine Rivals. Let's go. Day 4. Okay? Tomorrow's the last day. I just finished it. Okay? I know I mentioned that I was going to start Divine Rivals last night, and I did. I actually read about 50 pages last night, and then I fell asleep because it's that boring. Listen, I try very hard to not be a hater. I wake up and I have to actively choose love, okay? I have to actively be like, you're not going to be a hater today. And then I start my day. The world likes to test me. Listen, it wasn't terrible. It was just boring. Like, reading it, I was just like, I do not care. And you know, some authors do a really good job at like getting you to care about the characters really quickly, or just getting you to care about the world in general, but the world building in this thing, I don't know her. Like, what is world building in this? There is none. And it's so annoying because I've heard a lot of good things about this book, or like that it was hyped up. It sounds really fun, like enemies to lovers, a little like war of the gods, like a fun moment, but it's like, you don't really know unless you've read it, but I just don't care. Like, you're reading this and she's just like dropping little bit of like lore of the gods, and it's like, okay, it's like that friend who's really into Greek mythology and you're not, and they want to tell you all about it and you're trying to be nice and listen, but you're like, it's going right over your head. It's kind of what it feels like reading this book. I just don't care. I don't care. Also, I can't picture this book. Like, the way it's told, I can't picture it. Like, the letters, she's putting letters in a wardrobe, and the house is magical, so somehow her letters are coming through another wardrobe to her arch nemesis, but then they don't live in the same building, but they do because she's somehow getting her letters. But then she's also writing her letters to her brother who's off in war, so why is she putting it in a wardrobe? Shouldn't she be putting it in a mailbox? Like, I'm confused. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I just missed something. Like, granted I did fall asleep reading this book last night, and when I woke up I couldn't quite figure out why I left off, so maybe I missed something important, but I finished it today, and honestly, like, I finished it and I was ready for a nap. Like, that's how bored I was. Like, I'm tired. Like, this book's making me tired. That's how bored I am. I don't know. I don't recommend it. I give it like 1 star. Honestly, if I was DNFing books this year, I would have DNF'd it fairly quickly, but we're trying not to DNF this year, so I'm just not a fan. Not all the books we read this week can be a hit, apparently, but that's okay. I'm gonna go put it in my free little library so someone in my neighborhood can try it out and maybe find some enjoyment in that. So I'm gonna go take that outside, but we have to pick our next read. Now, since we're on day 4, tomorrow's day 5. We probably really only have time for 1 more book. Since I have like a good day and a half, I wanted to kind of pick a thicker book. This last one was like 300 pages. So the next one we have is 500 pages. She's thick. Now, before I show you what we're reading, okay, I've decided we're gonna finish this video with a romance, a smutty romance, a fun romance, maybe enemies to lovers, I'm not quite sure. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. When I'm filming this, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. And love is in the air, and I feel it. And after being let down by this enemies to lovers, let down, I need to read a romance that's just gonna like, I can just really envelope myself in it for the next like 48 hours, okay? Or like 36 hours. Doesn't matter. And that book is Twisted Lies, okay? Now listen, I've read the first 3 Twisted series books. Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate. I have not read the 4th one, Twisted Lies. It's been sitting on my shelf for like a year now. I think I got this one for my 23rd birthday, which was last March, so it's been a while, and I haven't read it, so I want to read it. This one, now, I remember liking the 2nd one in this series a lot because it was like a princess and guard type situation, I'm pretty sure. And the 3rd one was like he was a surgical resident and they hated each other. It was Twisted Hate though, and I didn't really love that one because the way they hated each other, like the reasoning for why they hated each other was so stupid. It was like she overheard him say something, misheard him 4 years ago, and just decided to run with that, which I didn't love. But this is the 4th and last book in the series. I also just think it'll be nice to like complete the series in this video so I can be done with the series and not have that last book left. It's 500 pages. Actually, it's like 550 pages. It's damn near 600 pages. This will take me to the end of the day tomorrow, and I will try and milk it to make it last that long too. I've never not been entertained by this author. Even if I didn't necessarily love where the story went, I was glued to the books, the previous books, glued to them, turning pages like a mad woman. So I know I'm gonna like this one, which is why I'm choosing it, because I need to end on a good note in order to not fall back into the slump that I was in, because this book made me never want to read again. That's a lie. It made me not excited to pick up another book. You know what I mean? Whereas this one, I feel like we have a good chance at feeling excited to read when we finish it. So let's continue day 4 by starting this book. I think my goal today is going to be to get like as close to halfway as I can get, and then we will finish it the other half tomorrow. We'll see how that ends up happening now. I did do all my homework this morning. I got up early against my will, and I was like, might as well get all my homework done so I can read the rest of the day. And I got all my homework done by noon, okay? So I could just spend the rest of my day reading. And tomorrow, because I don't work and all my homework's done. So I have all day tomorrow to sit and read. So, yay. Anyway, let's dive into a romance. Oh wait, let me I just realized I didn't even tell you what this book's about. I'm just talking about me. Okay, here's the blurb of Twisted Lies so you guys know what we're getting ourselves into. Charming, deadly, and smart enough to hide it, Christian Harper is a monster dressed in the perfectly tailored suits of a gentleman. He has little use for morals and even less use for love, but he can't deny the strange pull he feels toward the woman living just 1 floor below him. Hey, that's us, that's us. She's the object of his darkest desires, the only puzzle he can't solve, and when the opportunity to get close to her arises, he breaks his own rules to offer her a deal she can't refuse. Every monster has their weakness. She's his obsession, his addiction, his only exception. This is gonna be so good. It's probably gonna be so bad, but I don't even care, because if that is the theme, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. Now here's the main woman. Here's the woman character, okay? Here's the lover. Also, our self-insert. Sweet, shy, and introverted. Aww! Okay, me? No, I'm kidding. Stop. Sweet, shy, and introverted despite her social media fame. Is this play about us? Okay. Stella Alonso is a romantic who keeps her heart in a cage. Between her two jobs, she has little time or desire for a relationship. Okay, purr. But when a threat from her past drives her into the arms and house of the most dangerous man she's ever met, she's tempted to let herself feel something for the first time in a long time. Okay. Because despite Christian's cold nature, he makes her feel everything when she's with him. Passionate, protected, and truly wanted. There's oh my god. Theirs is a love twisted with secrets and tainted by lies, and when the truths are finally revealed, they could shatter everything. Oh my god. Okay, I want to read it. I'm so excited. Let's go. Okay, now I'm excited. Let's jump into it. I will check in with you when I have things to say. Hey, so we have fake dating. We're fake dating. I love a good fake dating trope. I feel like I've only read like one book that had a good fake dating trope, so hopefully they do it well, but it's a rare one. I rarely see fake dating. I love it though. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, we're gonna keep going. I'm really barely into it, like 60 pages, but I needed to let you guys know that there is a fake dating trope. It's day 5. Happy Valentine's Day. I just reached the halfway mark in this book, and I am loving every bit of it. Like, it might be a little too early to say, but I think that this one is definitely my favorite out of the 4 in the series. I feel like with every other one, there were just things I really didn't like about the main guys. Like, in the first one, I feel like he was just too mean, and I feel like he did things that I wouldn't be able to forgive. The second one was good. I can't remember. I think it was just more, like, boring. And then the third one, again, it was like I did not like the guy. I think he was more mean than necessary, and also he did things I would deem unforgivable, so it's hard. But this one, he is like, he hasn't done anything that's unforgivable. He's like so, like, I think she finally cracked the code, the author. I think she finally cracked the code of making a tough, kind of stoic, mean character, but not like, how do I explain this? Like, in the first one, the guy is mean and like also mean to her and like just mean all around and like never nice except for some like very sparing moments. But in here, it's like he's always treated her with respect, and like no matter what, he's not, I mean, he's kind of mean, but he's more of like a hard ass to everybody except for her. And like, he'll be stern, but he's not mean. Like, there's a difference between like demanding and mean, and I think she finally cracked the code. Again, I'm halfway, so a lot can still happen. This book is like 600 pages long, so there's still a lot that could happen, but so far I'm kind of just like loving it. I'm loving every second. I'm giggling, I'm kicking my feet. It is also a slow burn, which I feel like comes with the fact that it's 600 pages long. We're halfway and they haven't done anything together. Like, they haven't even kissed, so it's like a really good slow burn. I think in the other ones, she's kind of rushed into it. I think she's also kind of cracked the code on the slow burn with her 4th book, but this one's probably my favorite so far. I love him. He is the owner. A little more backstory, because all I've really given you is the blurb, but he owns a private security company, and he also owns the building that her apartment is in. And if you read the other books, she's a roommate with one of the other girls in the other books. It's a whole thing. They're all standalones, but they're connected, so if you've read the other books, you kind of know more about all the side characters than if you were to just pick this one up. But you could just pick this one up if you don't want to read the other ones, and you'd understand everything. It'd be fine. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so he owns like the apartment building she lives in. He lives one floor above her, like the penthouse floor or whatever, because he owns it. He also owns a private security company, and then she is an influencer. So part of their fake, I know I mentioned earlier that they're fake dating. Part of their fake dating is because she's been stuck at like 900,000 followers for a while, and she's trying to land this deal with a really well-known fashion designer, and she's worried that like she's not gonna have enough followers. And also couples seem to really like boost people on social media, so she made the deal with him
that they'd fake date online so she could get more followers, and then she would have to go to all these events that he has to go to because he needed someone to take with him to these like high-end events that could also like know how to work a crowd. He also totally likes her, so it was like his way of getting his end of the deal. So they made a deal, and like a part of the deal was like no sex, no physical touch unless it's like in public and it's necessary, no kissing unless it's necessary, which they haven't kissed, but, and then his side of the deal was like you can't post my face. So just imagine like cute soft launching boyfriend photos on her Instagram of like his back and like his hand, you know, it's like really cute, and I love it. I love every second of this. I love her character, but there's this added subplot in this book of her having a stalker, which is like perfect because he owns a private security company. So she has a stalker. Her stalker sees the first initial post of her and him together on her Instagram, and he comes out of like hiding because he hasn't been stalking her in a while. She hasn't received any letters, so she was kind of like, it's on the back burner. But every once in a while she'd bring up like, I feel like he's watching me, or I feel like he's still there, but nothing really happened until she posted the first picture with his hand in like one of the photos or whatever, and she said that was her boyfriend. So he came out from hiding, I guess. We don't know who he is, but her stalker's back, and he broke into her apartment and left her like a threat on a letter in her bedroom. So because of this, Christian was like, okay, well, like, you can move in with me, I'm upstairs, like, I own the building, I have more security in my apartment than you do, it's just overall safer. So she moves into his apartment, but like, again, what I love about the slow burn of this is it's like, it's not like she moved into his apartment and now she's like sleeping in his bed, you know, like, it's not. There's a guest bed with like an own guest bathroom, like, she moved her stuff in, it's more like a roommate situation. And there's tension, but I feel like in other books like this, when there's a situation like this, it's like instantly like they're sharing a bedroom, which doesn't make any sense because usually the person has a penthouse with a bunch of rooms. So at least this one makes more sense. She stays in the guest room, whatever. But we're exactly halfway through, and the tension is kind of getting to like a buildup of some sorts, which I'm loving. But like up until now, it's just been kind of like slowly building, and now there's like, okay, no, there's attraction from both parties, and now they both recognize that they're attracted to each other and they like each other, but they haven't acted on it, and they're kind of putting in a lot of will and like willpower to not act on it, but the tension's there and it's recognized by both parties. So very good, very, very good. Honestly, exceeded expectations so far, so I love when that happens. But yeah, I don't know, it's really fun, and I love, like, I don't know, she figured it out. If that's the best, like, if you've read all the books, you might have the same experience as me, but like her first book, I was like, okay, like a lot of red flags, a lot of things I didn't like. Second book got better. Third book was okay, and then I think I don't know, I just feel like she's finally figured it out. Or at least for my preferences in like a male character, it's hitting all of my marks. Cause I don't know, I feel like before, I'm repeating myself, but I feel like before she would just go a little too far with them being mean to the point of them being like unlikable and you're not rooting for them anymore. But she's managed to keep a very good balance with this one, and I kind of just love it. I love it so much. He's not like overbearing, he's not like breaking boundaries. Also, there's another common theme, at least like within the romance community, when it comes to like enemies to lovers or like dominant characters. They're always like, you're mine, she's mine, and it's like, okay, like, calm down. But with this one, it's a lot more like, she's mine, but I'm also hers. Like, it's very balanced, which I love, because a lot of the times it's always just like, you're mine, you can't do anything, you can't talk to anybody. But like, he recognizes that like, if I want her to be mine, I am also like 100% hers, if that makes sense. Anyways, so good. So good. And the different POV chapters are like perfect. I feel like one common complaint I have with her books, this author's books in general, is that although there is dual POV, there's always significantly more of the woman's perspective than the man's perspective, which
I kind of wish there was a little more of a balance, because I feel like we get like 6 chapters of Stella's POV, and then we get like 1 Christian POV, and then 6 more of Stella's POV, and then like 1 Christian POV. So it's like it keeps you reading because you want to see his POV, but also she's really good at writing the guy's perspective. So I would encourage her to write more chapters where you get to see his perspective, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, I want to know what he's thinking about this, and I don't really get to find out, and we just kind of keep staying in Stella's head, which is fine, but some authors are terrible at a man's POV, and she is like nailing it, at least with this book so far, so I wish it just happened more. Now, don't get me wrong, there are books where I read dual POVs, and I get to the man's POV, and I'm like, oh, okay. For example, that Archer one I read in the beginning of this video, the man's POV, I was like, ew, like, ew. It was just like a very narrow mindset of what goes on in a man's brain or whatever. And it was like if a man was written by a man. It's not like the idealistic of what a man would be thinking, if that makes sense. But that one failed at man POV. But this one's killing it. At least it's giving me what I want, and I love it so much. And it's just so like cute, and I'm giggling, I'm kicking my feet. I'm also like, oh, okay, like it's just so good. It's so good. We have like 300 pages left. And like, usually I'm complaining about a long book, especially like just a long book in general. I'm usually complaining, but I actually kind of like the length. Pacing's really good. I'm not bored. I think we're finally about to relieve tension. So here's my predictions, okay? If it goes right, if it goes the way I want, tension will be relieved, okay? They'll do it. And then at about like, they'll be happy for like a good portion. And then right at the 75% mark, something terrible happens. And it's gonna like break them up, or a fight's gonna ensue. And then the last little chunk, they're gonna get back together, and then it's gonna be happily ever after, and then there's gonna be an epilogue of them like pregnant or married. Like, that's how these always go. But anyway, so we are on day 5. It's the last day, getting out of the reading slump, and I think we're gonna accomplish that because I'm loving this book. I finished the last book. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I know that I like said that this was my favorite, or like possibly my favorite out of all 4 of them, but now that I finished it, I can confirm it is definitely my favorite out of all 4 in the series. I loved this book. Oh my god, I loved it. Shortly after the halfway mark, that's when like things start to kind of pick up like steam wise. Like a lot, but it's so crazy boots. Oh my god, it's so good. And like, just, I don't know, every way it went, I liked every direction it went. I like when like the secrets were revealed, and like it was just good. I don't want to spoil what the lies were and like the things that were kind of like, oh my god. I don't want to spoil those things in case you do go read it. I liked it. I like how it ended. I did not read the epilogue. I am anti-epilogue over here. I just like, I don't know, like whatever happens 4 or 5 years down the line, none of my business. Like when the book ends, the book ends. Like that's just how I feel. I don't need to know what's going on 5 years later. But this book, done. I think that leaves our total of books read to 5, I think. Wow. And I think I'm officially out of my reading slump, for sure. I'm not in a reading slump anymore. I think this pulled me out. So I recommend doing this. Just kind of forcing yourself to read until you like it again, and kind of bouncing around genres like I did. Thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and like it if you like this, and comment if you've read any of these books, or if you have any recommendations based off what I felt about these books. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!